stream, everybody. This is the Sambongo Dragon. This is like our 10th episode we're doing here. I'm gonna do a little bit something a little bit special this episode. We're gonna talk a little bit too, of course, because I have to interrupt the stream somehow. And welcome aboard if you're new. Thank you. Like, subscribe, all that, whatever. I don't really have much of an algorithm or anything, but if you make a comment, you'll be standing out and you'll be like, "That champ." Anyway, how you doing, champ? Again, good to see you, champ, in the morning. Rest in peace, a brother in arms, defying all race and segregation and discrimination. He's amazing. Anyway, let's get right into this. And I'm gonna select a drum track here that I'm very familiar with, and I'm gonna really hammer out some of that idea. So let's pay attention a little close this time. Maybe there's something you're gonna hear and you're gonna like it, and I'm gonna like it. We're gonna have to go over it a lot, but this episode is gonna be really full of music and playing. So that's your warning for whether or not you're ready to rock in the morning. for you, everyone. That was our tubdub track, and we're going to be trying that again. Now, I think I liked a few parts about it, and I think I like a few parts about it to genuinely consider as a practice. Now, by that I mean I'm going to pull out like a section, I'm going to nail it out, hammer it out until it's perfect, and I'll throw it right back into the same thing, and if it doesn't do so well, of course, I'll change it up. But it might be a thing, so that's I got my work cut out for me, basically. But I hope you liked it. That one worked out nicely. Maybe I'm gonna change the tone a little, but we're gonna turn that right back on. Let's listen to the beat for a little bit. Let's get into the mode because we have to hear it. It's a certain kind of beat. It's a slower one, but it's got its intensity along its mysteriousness. It kind of picks up again through its innovation and its like wave that it carries, right? You can ride with it for a long time before you get sick, and it seems like that's where I want to slap that new piece and keep it right there. I'm gonna try it out. I'm not really able to tell you exactly where it was, but maybe you'll be able to see it in your eye, and your ear will recognize it. I like it. that one's rolling on. I like that a lot. That really seemed to have a lot of impact. Now there's a lot more I want to do with it. And I think it worked out in that bottom area that I tried to place some of the extra pieces. I could really feel it. It had a lot of growl to it, a lot of rrr. It kept rolling over the tongue in a sense, which is strange. Anyway, so what we're going to look for next is we're going to keep the same beat going, and maybe I'm going to be able to bring it up a little bit higher, and I'll be able to take the same piece, and I'll be able to bring it up here and then bring it back down here. And it's a process. Once you get higher and higher up in your process, you'll have something that you really like, I believe, by the end of it. So let's listen to that beat for a minute here, because we're going to get into the mode of it again. think I can still feel the breading. I really like it. I like it a lot. It's still grooving. It's still grooving. We're still grooving. I think this one's really going to be hammered out. We're going to know exactly what we're doing next. This one's awesome. Hurry up, guys. Follow along. Where are y'all? It's live, right? How's that cooking, everybody? I think that one went out a lot nicer than before. Okay, so that's kind of a mix of the two. It's kind of funny because I found I had trouble getting back to my roots. It's funny because I started with my roots, right? So everything I did was steeped in my roots. So all I gotta do is I gotta do what I did again, differently, but I can't even kind of wrap my mind around doing it again differently. That's the weird part, because I'm getting better at it as I do it now, but I'm not getting any better at the new stuff. And that's what's kind of keeping me all stressed out, or at least held back in my mind, at least. But it's not a holding back technique or a problem or anything like that. We'll be doing fine from now on still, but this weird hip hop track has got me so completely by the brain. I gotta work it out a lot more before I'm perfect at it anyway. So that's definitely what we're up to here on this one, because I'm gonna switch over to a clean tone. I'm gonna have to get rid of maybe some of the reverb I left on it. I'm gonna pull the middle up and the bass. Give me a minute to just adjust my settings. Let's hear what it sounds like without any situation going on. Sounds a lot cleaner. I might have a problem with the volume at the moment, maybe. Shot, why don't we go Sambongo Dragon? We're gonna play this all day long. Alright, we got some clean setting, I like it. Some clean setting might help us out. Let's see if we can get that going again on some distorted side of things. And see if that really pulls it together. Alright, that again, that is our hip-hop metal track. And you know what, I've been calling it that a lot lately, but I'm not calling it that right now. I'm just calling it the tubdub. That's what it's called. It's given me a lot to think about, and I'm so glad that you've been listening to this the whole time. There's been a lot of playing and not a lot of chatting going on. And that's a good thing, because we got a lot of things to play and not a lot of things to talk about, right? Well, actually, just because this will be going on YouTube, we have a few things we've got to talk about, right? We got to talk about progressibility and stuff like that, and what it means to make a progression, and a progression of what it does to a song. Once you have a progression added to a song, what it is, you're looking for the progression to add to whatever the song is. You want to be able to add the progression to the song and keep that whip being pulled away from the common orchestration of the song. So what we're gonna have here is we're gonna have a finger going like this, and we're gonna have our beat going. Let's listen to this here. We're gonna go right up, and I think that's right on beat. It doesn't matter, it's a 3 and that's a 4. So we're going at this pace right here. We're gonna have this beat going, and then somehow we're gonna have that 4 piece, and we're gonna bring it up, and we're gonna smack it in place, and we're gonna try our best to keep it right there. just like so. And then you go right back to the common orchestration. Now you want to pull all of that piece right into place. And you got to give it as much energy, and you got to flex that muscles, and you got to go as much as you can, because you got a big piece and you got 4 pieces, and you got big sweeps in the orchestration, and you got, again, up and forward. Of course, that will be the pattern that we're keeping to the rhythm here. Now let's see if we can keep that pattern, because we're going to summon all of it together, and it's going to be a little hard to do. So let's listen to this track. Imagine this big ball of ice, right? And it's just venting steam from every direction. And the only way it can turn into water is the way the water is being pulled from, and the steam creates a pull all around it, where the water does not just immediately slide off, it stays wet on the surface, right? So much like that creation that we just made, we're gonna make it metal and see what happens. I'm getting really close to having to tune my strings here, my guitar, and I gotta change these strings real close because I'm just blowing my fingers apart on this thing. Now, the whole time I'm making that pattern that we're talking about, where we're orchestrating, we're gonna be thinking about progressibility. Much like this here flower that smells so ever so pretty. We are gonna be bringing that pattern to a progressibility. It's almost like if you have a baby and food, you gotta get the food into the baby, but it's not mushy food yet, right? So it's kind of a bad analogy because you're not always feeding a baby at some point. Sometimes you're working with operations and stuff, right? So anyway, we got a progressibility to add to it. And since the beginning of this video here, the stream that we've been on, we had a few things I wanted to add to what we had going on, and it starts to look nice when we bring it to a clean setting. But what we're gonna do is have the progressibility transpire its own definition when it was genicized in the cleaner tone setting, right? So of course, that's what we were trying to do right here, and it wasn't very easy. It took a long time, and we didn't quite get to the end of it yet, which is kind of the pain in the ass with playing the guitar, because sometimes one sound comes out, and then it doesn't sound like it used to almost, and you're like, wait a minute, I got two sounds, and it's the same note. It's not the same note, right? You're holding it wrong, or whatever. I don't know, it's a delicate machinery, right? You gotta have just fingertips, and it's just strings, and it's always so heavily distorted that as soon as you play that one string, you really hear it. A violin can get away with a squeak. This thing, if you play that note, it sounds like a warrior on a battlefield, and that warrior might mean the difference between winning or losing. So no mistakes is one thing to put it as, but also respecting the entirety of what you have created, and then having a new level of progressibility genicized from within it. And then instead of having the gravity pull all that water in, you turn that water into vapor immediately with your heat action, and you turn it into vapor, and the vapor starts to hold the water into a perfect case around it. And next you know, each point has its own gravitation, and at each point that gravitation starts to build a perfect prism in of which light may cast through in any point. And now you're dripping light, and that is what you're looking for. You want to be dripping light and not just sweat, because sweat's gross. No, I mean, that's kind of weird, but this is hip-hop metal, in a sense. I keep it as hip-hop metal in my my YouTube channel, if you want to go check that out. But what I do is I wanted to practice this and see if I can get out something nice to produce for that YouTube channel, because I got a few followers going on there. I want to stay loyal to them anyway. So this has been a fun episode. A lot of things have been going on, and I'm reaching the 45-minute mark, so I'm going to have to cover it up, close it up, and I hope I gave us a lot of things to think about, a lot of things to talk about, and there's still a lot to do, but you got to keep all that, what there's a lot to do of, and you got to take it, and you got to pull it out of you and release it upon your own world so that you can know exactly what it is that you're having a lot of things to do with, because that's how creativity works, right? I'm sorry for all the slang, but I'm a bit of a slangy person. I don't like talking about theory, but theory is one of the most helpful things you will ever come across in the music world. So allow me to sign this off, and we're going to listen to our beat. No, we're not. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start to sign off this episode. Muhammad Ali, our hero, the one true king of boxing, the god of warriors, Muhammad Ali. Rest in peace, champ. You're the real king here. You make the real music and you're always listening to it. Alright, so that's been fun. I can't wait to play anything nice real soon. And of course, don't do drugs. of you, and every one of you. And stay in school. You gotta put your time in. That's where the learning comes from. And then you read a book, and then you answer the question. Remember, also, of course, if you're still learning to play the guitar, don't put all your time into playing the guitar. Put your time into yourself. That's what's gonna matter. Put it into yourself. And then you'll find it matters, right? And that's why you stay in school, because that's where yourself is. And that's where you invest yourself to something at a time. Take your time. Realize it's gonna take time. And then move on from there. And play, practice your guitar all the time. Don't be shy. Be a little loud. It's okay to make mistakes, my friend. Anyway, this has been the Sambongo Dragon, whatever episode. Rocking with Sambongo. I'm Sambongo. I'm a white boy from Canada. This is British Columbia. Canada, the Rocky Mountains, beautiful British Columbia. We have purple skies. We have an Aberdeen blue up in the clouds. And they cascade between each other, making this weird ripple effect like this, right? And you want to ask, how the hell can a sky unfold downwards like this while releasing enough light from the curvature of the earth that it thins out until the rest of the curvature re-rolls it back up and carries thunder off? Because we're in a dome of mountains, and that's what we got. Anyway, this has been fun, and we will see you next time on the Sambongo Dragon. Read a book. It's good for your brain. Associate to it nicely. Pick up that book and then run outside and play in the grass until you are sure your bottom is entirely green from all that extra cytoplasm or chloroplast that is in the cells of the green earth. And then, of course, come right back and practice the guitar. Champ and champettes, you all matter. It's everyone.